Okay,
I
so
thought
we're
that's why
live.
we were waiting till 10.
This is episode number 10. There's nothing to talk about as per usual, but we have Chris on the program today. He's laying in bed. He appears to be quite drunk and possibly sleeping. Not entirely sure what he's doing, but he's wearing a Spartan hat. It's quite interesting. Chris, why don't you tell us about your hat? Now, let's just forget about the hat thing. He's not. He's motionless right now. Um, let's talk about Donald Trump not wanting to let the immigrants come to America.
Let's not give Donald Trump any public time. Fuck him.
So it's like
Serious.
it's like wasting a plug, kind of, or
Oh,
not even a plug.
man.
Just it's not even worth talking about because it's just so
He's
ridiculous.
just such a sack of garbage.
Andrew has some strong feelings about this. I like that. It's always nice to start off with strong feelings. Mike, do you have any strong feelings about this?
No, I don't. Not really.
Do you have weak feelings about this?
Kind of.
What do you mean by that?
No.
He's just not gonna win, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
How do you guys know?
Because what the
I
fuck?
voted for him.
So let's see. Let's say he wins. Let's pretend that somehow enough of the country is insane that they vote for this guy.
Okay.
5 seconds after he's president, he'll get impeached. He can't build a coherent narrative. Nothing he says maps to anything else he says. The only common theme is, I'm an old bigot.
I just really agreed with the take away the internet thing. That's awesome to me.
Yeah.
You like that, huh?
Yeah. Because if you know what, if the internet didn't exist, I wouldn't be sitting here wasting my time with you fuckers.
Well, I mean, you can stop the self-loathing. I mean, you can just turn it off.
Andrew, you know I can't turn this off. Oh man, no, this is a good way to open up, you know. So you guys feel very strongly about it. I I like seeing all those stupid fucking pictures of him being compared to Hitler.
You like that?
I like looking at them because I'm like, who, what? Like I don't know. It's like
It's
shake my
like
head to the max.
the amount of stupid that has come out in the last year. Like, I thought we were at max stupid.
You thought that? It's
I,
get
I
no no
thought,
no
I
no
thought we were
no
at
no no
maximum
no.
stupid.
No, 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 no. See, this is interesting because you are very ignorant in that regard. This is the first time that I'm ever gonna say that you're ignorant. I mean, this is revolutionary for Submerged TV, but I swear to God, this is just the beginning. It's gonna get worse. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
get
It's
better.
not. People aren't actually stupid. They're just fucking the same they've always been. It's just easier to access dumb shit. Like, seriously, people are the same they always were. Nobody's fucking stupid. If they took the time to learn shit, they'd be able to learn the same shit as everyone else. But
Well, you
the
know,
echo chamber effect is strong.
there was this song that came out when I was in high school, which wasn't that long ago, coincidentally. And it said something like "I suck dick till I hurl" or something like that. And it was just, it was like a media thing, and it was like put into like these gangster videos, and that was the lyric, "I suck dick till I hurl," and it was like literally
I know you do,
played.
Anthony. I know you do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was literally played everywhere. This song was so popular. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure that people know what song I'm talking about. And I was like, how the fuck is everyone missing that lyric or missing how just terrible and awful this song actually is? That's what I compare the Donald Trump campaign to. That's my 2 cents. Just people fucking saying shit, mindlessly listening, and eventually, without realizing they're saying it, going, "I suck dick till I hurl."
I don't think people realize that there's 350 million people in that country. There's gonna be a fair number of people who are extreme on all kinds of views because there's just a lot of people. So it's not hard to find a
like
bunch of people that are going to support a racist asshole, but the
isn't the
majority of the people don't
population?
do that.
It's like a tenth of America, right?
Ours, yeah, we got like 35 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy too. Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah. There's always going to be extremists on left and right and up and down. Like, it doesn't even matter what we're talking about. But what's important now is the majority, and who has the majority?
Nobody knows because the majority of people don't talk. Only people who are incredibly heated about something or incredibly supportive of something talk. Everybody in the middle shuts up until it's time to cast a vote.
And then, yeah, and then the truth is, so who's runner up? I mean, I don't even know because we never hear about that. All we hear about is what the media
Like
loves to throw on us.
I seen a chart earlier that like I mean Fox News is super popular, right? They
In
spend
Canada.
like 20 times as much time on Donald Trump as any of the other candidates put together.
Of
So
course, well, of course I do.
like they're just as insane as he is, and it's just like it just makes it seem like it's more important than it is.
Who do you think Hannity's going to vote for?
I don't fucking know. I really try and stay away from American media, to be honest.
It's impossible. Everything you like is American media. You can't argue. It's true.
America.
Yeah.
I think for every 10 things that you name that's media based, one of them will be Canadian.
Oh, it's probably less than that.
Bill O'Reilly's Canadian, right?
I
Chris-
don't.
Chris
I don't
finally
actually like.
chimes in.
I don't like actually watch TV or anything like that. Like I watch like Netflix and shit, so I don't have any of the in between shit. I don't watch news. I'll look up an article or something when it shows up somewheres or whatever. But mostly I listen to podcasts, and most of them are American. There's 7 or 8 Canadian ones on my list, but other than that, it's all American podcasts.
Are you a fan of Jon Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Gilbert Gottfried?
For the most part.
I really love Gilbert. I wish that Gilbert would become president, so he'd go. And
Aflac.
the kid was fucking the dog, and everybody loved it.
Now, yeah.
And you know, to go back like to like American TV, like a lot of people, that's basically all they watch. And like the big thing last year was like the whole tax credit for the entertainment industry.
What's that website
That's
that
a
you
big
go to?
thing.
What's that website that you go to, Andrew, that to fact check stuff?
Snopes?
Yeah, that one. I wonder, if there's an article about Fox on there, because I don't think they report news. That's not what they're doing.
No, Fox isn't news. It's entertainment.
Entertainment, isn't it? But it is. It's made out to seem like it's supposed to be news, and
Yeah,
that's
because it
why
was supposed to be, but they're fighting for ratings just like everyone else. So they're going to put on their show what makes people watch it. People want to watch train wrecks or shit they love. So how many people watch Fox News just to see the next retarded thing for them to say?
Well, I have to admit that's probably the only reason why I've ever watched anything that came out of Fox News. But the problem with that is a lot of people see a headline that says news and they take it seriously. Like, I bet you The Onion, like, you know how they have like their newscast, which is clearly satire. But I guarantee there's probably like some people out there that really think it's a real news channel.
It's been picked up by people before and used as a source. Like,
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Fox, anything that comes out of that channel, it's pure opinion. There's no objective facts. Like it's Hannity saying something, or O'Reilly saying something, or whoever the hell is broadcasting that day just giving their opinion on something that actually does have an objective point, but they're just giving their subjective opinion on it. So you'll never get the truth out of it. But since it's such a popular network, it sways so many minds into believing something that could be completely
I don't
untrue.
know if it does.
I think it does. I think a lot of people really, really respect Fox News, and I think a really large portion of people respect Fox News and
Have you ever
totally take it as
Have you ever
objective.
talked to somebody who thought Fox News was not bullshit?
It's mostly old people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, old people are still people. It doesn't matter what your
No, they're
age
not.
is.
Whatever. Fuck them. They're not people.
Fuck old people. They're not real.
What were you saying, Mike, about the tax credit?
Well, I was just saying, like, a lot of people were bitching and complaining about the tax credit, but all they watch is American TV, American Netflix. You know, they're not supporting the Canadian industry at all. They're not watching Canadian TV at all.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
the
lot.
biggest
There's
way.
actually
That's the
quite a few
biggest
good
way.
Canadian shows.
There are, but no one ever watches them.
Nope.
Well,
And if you think that would have been the best way to help the entertainment industry is to actually like support it by actually watching it, versus putting on a VPN and then watching American Netflix or whatever.
Netflix is working pretty hard to remove the requirement for the
yeah,
VPN.
it's changed a lot actually in the last few years because I have access to
They're,
both.
they're,
I do
they're
VPN
fighting,
into. Yeah.
they're fighting a lot of that zone lock stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to say when I when I first started watching Fox News or whatever, like without knowing anything about it, I definitely took it as like a serious, and that's why I think that a lot of people would.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have any kind of critical thinking, it doesn't take long before your bullshit meter starts flashing.
I understand what you're saying, but the first part of your sentence was the key to the entire argument. And what was that? If you have any sort of critical thinking at all.
And most people do. Unless it's about their pet issue, they're usually pretty good at it.
Exactly.
All right. So, do you guys have a prediction of how the next American election will go? Do you think Donald Trump is definitely out then?
I mean, man, it's like, it doesn't matter. The Republican candidacy is a clown car of insane. Who the fuck are you going to vote in? Ben Carson, who thinks that pyramids are fucking storage silos for grain? What are you, fucking insane? Or any of the other people who are saying super racist shit or going to fucking rallies that support killing people. It's like, what the fuck? How are these people not, like, just in jail?
So you think that people are going to make the right choice then? Or you hope, you have faith almost that people will, choose the right thing.
They voted in Obama when there was real candidates. This time there's insanity versus Democrats. So it's like, I don't see any other way. Like, if Donald Trump wins the fucking nomination, then everybody's gonna be like, this guy can't say 2 points that go together. And they vote for the other guy. Who's the other guy? Whoever the fuck the Democrat is.
Shit. That kind of sucks. That's a really morbid way to look at it.
American politics are fucking ridiculous.
So what's the latest on legalization of marijuana in Canada?
Well, they're moving forward anyways. I don't know if they've actually done anything yet. They just made a statement the other day that it was, that they were going to start putting things in order. They started assembling the people to figure out how to make it work properly.
We got an ETA on that?
Not yet.
No.
Not that I know of anyways. It's entirely possible that they do.
Now, in Canadian politics, is there a limit to the amount of time a person can serve?
No.
So when do elections happen? Every year?
No, they're every 4 years unless you call one soon. Unless you call one before.
Okay. And okay. And then he can serve 5 consecutive terms if he continues to win.
Yep.
Yeah. And in America, I think you can only be president for 2 consecutive terms and then
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I can't wait to see how this is going to unfold with the marijuana laws and the taxation and everything. Like we speculated on the other podcasts and stuff, like what could possibly happen with all that, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. I really am. I have a feeling
I
that
mean,
it.
it's not. There's no mystery. Like, they
Well,
outlined it in their plan.
I understand that, but I mean, things change, opinions change. That's
Not
what
really. I mean,
progression.
they're talking to people from Colorado and stuff to make sure that they, do a good model and all that stuff. I mean, it's going to be pretty much the same. It's working for them. Why wouldn't we use the same?
So they're gonna kind of try to do what Colorado's doing then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And Colorado, Colorado's like basically the state of acceptance for all of these controversial issues, such as like legalization of marijuana.
I think
Uh,
there's 4 states now. I think Alaska
Gay
and
marriage is another controversial issue that they support, I believe.
well,
Uh,
that's not a controversial issue anymore.
well, I mean, to the Republicans it is.
Yeah, well, there's not a fucking thing they can do about it now.
Yeah, but like Colorado's basically the first state to say let's go on everything.
They're
is what
pretty
I'm saying.
liberal. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Justin Trudeau. See, I really do, and I still have this feeling that the people that don't smoke pot are going to be happy with the policy, and the stoners are going to be upset.
Why?
I've talked about this many times before, and I still feel really strongly about it. It's going to be like illegal cigarettes, and I know the plant thing and all that stuff, but I
Like,
feel like
You're
there's
talking
going
out
to be
of your
some.
ass, and nothing you say makes any sense.
I'm a Republican. What do you expect?
I think you're a fucking caricature.
I
And you
appreciate
fucking know
that.
it. And you're
I-
doing it on purpose. Because you want me to go to your house and fucking push you down the stairs.
Yes. I love this. No, I seriously, I really do believe.
No, you don't.
the,
Because you know that you're self-contradicting. Like, you know
Okay,
that.
how
So
so?
you're not going to purposefully hold self-contradicting ideas. Like, that's bullshit.
No, but how are they self-contradicting?
If
I
it's
don't-
legal and you're allowed to grow your own pot, I don't understand where you're inventing this problem.
Okay. We'll bring it back to the alcohol thing. Back to basics.
Yeah, I brew
You're
my own
allowed-
beer.
Brew your own beer, brew your own wine. You can't own a still though, right?
Oh,
Okay, so let's say
do you
can-
habitually do heroin? I don't understand how it's related.
well, actually, yes, I do.
Well, that'll be the same. That's not changing.
Okay, but my point is, the still. So that's where they draw the line. So I feel like there's going to be a line that's drawn that is
Yeah. It's somewhere
That-
around 6 plants.
okay, but somewhere
That's
around.
enough weed for anyone.
I understand that, but I think I really do. It's just it's a fleeting thought. I don't know where it came from, and I'm not self-contradicting. But I just imagine that in 5 years from now, the government is going to say, "Holy fuck, we can make a lot of money off this, a lot more than we thought we
They
could."
are going to make a lot of money.
But no, but then it's going to go from
They
six
make a
plants
fuck
to
ton of
4
money off
plants
of booze.
to 2
Because
plants
even though
to
I can make
1
my own
plant.
beer at home, most people don't because it's way more convenient to walk in a fucking store and be like, "Here's my money, thanks for the weed, bye."
So why would it surprise you that the Canadian government wouldn't, eliminate the plant rule and say you have to buy
Because they don't
regulated
have to.
marijuana? But they
Why-
can't. They could.
Why haven't they eliminated the beer one?
I can't answer that question.
There you go. Same fucking problem.
But what I can, if you think about it,
It's a whole lot harder to grow weed at home than it is to make beer, I can tell you that.
Okay, but it's not a whole lot harder to turn, alcohol into moonshine. It's not that much more of a process, but it's a lot more legal. Why don't they want us to have? Why won't they allow us to make 20 proof or higher?
Because it's too easily dangerous if not done properly.
Too easily dangerous.
Yes,
So it's a safety concern.
primarily.
You think so?
I mean, what else? I can make a room full of beer.
I don't know, man. I just think that people who are alcoholics much prefer harder liquor. So if you can get like a pint of moonshine for $5, which it's super fucking cheap, obviously, way cheaper than it is to make the beer. If you can do that, then they're not getting a piece of the pie. So let's say they start off with 6 plants of marijuana.
Do you
And
listen
then
to Alex Jones or something? Like,
I'm not even familiar who that is. Who's Alex Jones? Mike, who's Alex Jones?
Black helicopters.
No idea what you guys are talking about.
Mass graves.
they're building tunnels under the Walmarts.
Look, I've made way too much sense on like the last 2 or 3 episodes. I've made too much sense on the last 2 or 3 episodes that we have to throw one of these ones in where you guys just, way over my head and make fun of me and rip on me.
But it's not over your head. You're just not understanding it on purpose.
No, that's not true.
You're trying to make it fail, even though it's never going to.
Man, this is why I love this recording, because when it does, I'm gonna fucking timestamp this shit and be like, everything that you say from that point on, I'll be like, here, reference this idiotic statement.
If you are basing it on something that happens in reality, then sure, why not? But you're just pulling it out of your ass because you want to.
I'm not. No, there are realities of regulations on certain.
Then why haven't they made it so that I can't make my own beer? If that's their motivation, why haven't they restricted it to the point where I can't make my own beer?
Why can't you make your own rum?
Because it can go really bad. Really
No,
fast.
that's bullshit. That's a bullshit. That's you just assuming stuff. That's
Stills fucking blow up. And that's just the beginning. If you happen to make some that has a little bit too much methanol in it, fucking dead from drinking it.
Right. The orange flame versus the blue flame. Gotcha.
Right. It's way too easy to fuck up some shit real fucking bad and have a lot of fucking dead people.
Did you see that Simpsons episode?
It's way easier just restricted to stuff that can't so easily go wrong.
Very recently.
The what?
No, I did see that episode actually very recently. But I don't know. I really think that it's going to start off as something great and it's going to get progressively more governed and regulated. That's just my, I don't know, prediction.
The thing is that they don't have to, right? Just like right now, most people
Okay, so why
don't brew their own beer.
Why
Most people go to the liquor store because it's easy.
Why fucking
Most
put
people
a
are gonna
cap
go to
on
the pot
6
store
plants?
because it's
If it's
easy.
a safety issue, why fucking cap it at 6 plants?
Because that's what they've determined is enough for personal use. And in fact, it's probably way more than you need for yourself. Why would you need more than that? Are you going to start?
What's wrong with having more
That's
than
still
you need?
illegal.
I'll
Well,
jar it up.
you-
I'll jar it up so we can smoke it next month. Whatever.
Right, exactly.
You could
You can
literally
still
have
do that.
you can have a grow box and have 6 plants growing all the time,
Yeah.
constantly.
Well, yeah, but why 6 plants? Why is there a cap?
Because they have to draw the line somewheres.
Why do they cap the
Okay,
internet?
so they did that with alcohol. They drew the line somewhere.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, I feel like this line is going to get thinner and thinner as time goes on.
Why isn't it getting thinner with alcohol?
They tried that in the 1920s, and everyone started killing themselves.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about legalization and removing the prohibition. Remember, that's what we're doing. We're doing what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it doesn't work the same way. It really doesn't. They're not the same thing.
It's exactly the fucking same. Except for pot doesn't kill people as much as alcohol does.
Well, yeah, that's my point. We're on accordance on that.
I can't figure out your motivation. I don't understand.
Well, maybe if you just let me speak for a second, I could explain it to you.
Whatever.
I just think that it seems really awesome right now, and I feel like once it gets regulated or once it's legalized and all that stuff, the government's going to want a larger slice of the pie, the line's going to get thinner, and then people are going to be like, what the fuck? Also, another thing that I mentioned, which you're going to be like, this doesn't make any sense, is the availability and how, like, alcohol's social and blah blah blah, and we see like as children we've watched our parents drink alcohol in social settings, and like marijuana, that was never a thing, but now that's going to become a thing, and I don't know if I like the idea of that. Like I don't know if I approve of how children are definitely going to be watching their parents smoke marijuana regularly,
fucking pussy,
and
man.
I'm not joking, like, and legally just
So it's safer than booze.
it may be safer physically than booze, but I'm not sure if it's mentally safer, and I'm not sure
Both of them
of
fuck
the.
up your brain if you do it before your brain's done developing. So, I mean, at that point, they're pretty much the same.
I don't think they're the same at all. I think that marijuana really saps motivation much more so than alcohol does. But I think alcohol kills more brain cells and is actually more permanently damaging to the brain. But I don't know. Like I wouldn't want my children to see people smoking pot everywhere, or like being able to buy it at a corner store, or have a pack of joints on you, or have 6 plants growing in your house. Like it bothers me for
On
another
what
reason too.
reasoning?
Like,
I think you're looking at marijuana the wrong way.
well, it's not only that, but another thing is like, when has legalizing a drug ever been a good thing? Like, why are we legalizing more drugs?
When has it been a
If
bad thing?
anything, and like I said, I think I
Okay,
mentioned
whoa,
this.
stop. No, stop.
When has it been a bad thing?
When has it been a bad thing, first of all? Second of all, by legalizing something, you remove the criminal element. So when alcohol was under prohibition, the only people who dealt alcohol were criminals. And it creates criminal enterprise that does its own rule and creates dead people and sends people to prison. When you remove the prohibition and regulate it, the general populace doesn't want to deal with criminals anymore. They go to the store and they buy the thing they want.
But you're acting as if there's no consequence to marijuana or smoking or using marijuana.
Who the fuck said that?
Well, why don't we legalize heroin? Why don't we just legalize all the drugs? We'll get all
Have
the
you asked
criminals
me
off
if
the
I
street.
thought that was a good idea?
We'll get all the criminals off the street. There'll be no more cocaine.
Have you asked me what I think about that?
Well,
I
no.
don't think that's a bad
I
idea.
mean,
I think it's a fucking fantastic idea. They should all be legalized and regulated.
everything should be
Everything.
legalized.
Because the biggest problem with overdoses on drugs and people dying from drug use is because of inconsistent dosages and being cut with harmful toxins. So if you take away
okay.
the criminal element, you take away the motivation to cut it with something that's illegal, or you take away the motivation to cut it with something that's dangerous. Somebody who has
Okay.
a lab that's legal, you have
I
people who are
understand, I
trained, and they
understand.
all make safe drugs that have the same dose all the fucking time, and the people that are doing the drugs don't accidentally overdose.
Okay. So, point taken. I understand what you're saying. Let's say that today alcohol was illegal. And when I was a child, alcohol was like, let's say alcohol had, gone through another prohibition. I don't think that I would have ever started drinking because I started going to my parents' liquor cabinet. I was curious, and I mixed myself a cocktail, and I drank it for the first time. You know what I mean? So if we're legalizing
sleeping.
cocaine and
Yeah, but unfortunately
heroin,
for you, that's a parent problem and not a social problem, or a legal one.
okay, but that's irrelevant because people have parents. People have shitty parents. People have good parents. It's still going
So
to.
you'd rather there be a giant criminal enterprise than not?
No, I didn't say that.
Because people are
Hey,
still
hey,
going to be
hey,
bad
hey.
parents.
Hey, you guys. I think Chris is sleeping.
Should I mute his mic?
No, let's listen to
Probably.
him.
It was listening to him snore. It's pretty nice.
If I click on that, does that change your guys' screen?
No.
No. All right. Well, we can listen to him snore. No, it's not. It's not like that. And yeah, I don't think that everything should be legalized. I think that the reason that things were illegalized to begin with is because of the damage that certain substances were causing, primarily. I mean, there's a reason why marijuana was initially legalized, and it might have been simply because the country wanted to create a scandal and blah blah blah, like all the propaganda and stuff like that. But like drugs like heroin and cocaine, they definitely have some serious negative effects, and part-time usage and stuff
Tons
like
of
that.
people use cocaine without any negative effects.
Yeah. Heroin, too.
That is probably the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life. I swear to God.
Really?
It has to be. I totally disagree.
Really?
Yes, 100%. I
And
don't
also,
think that.
if the things are legal, we can do proper education on stuff and stop fucking fear-mongering.
That's why they should have let drug testing kits at at that concert they did.
Yeah, I can't fucking figure out why they wouldn't do that. Like that's fucking insane.
What's a drug testing kit?
It was the rave they had.
Oh,
And
like
they were gonna have kits so you could go and you could test your drugs and make sure they were safe.
Well, see, a lot of the things
oh,
that
they
you
actually
get
they
is
actually
like,
test your drugs, like the
well,
ones that you
you
bring.
can test the drugs that you buy. If you
So
buy
like
drugs
MDMA or something like that, and you can
yes,
see
because a lot of
exactly
the
what's in your
MDMA
pill.
that you get is just basically it's meth.
Cut with whatever, yeah. So what happened? Like they wanted to
Well,
impose like
they wanted to put them in, but they said, well, no, because it'll encourage drug use. Don't give
As
them
if
testing
they don't
kits.
fucking understand that the drug use is happening and that's why they need the thing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It was
does
so
it does it make me a hypocrite to say that I think that that's a good idea?
yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Damn it, I can't do anything right. I don't know, man. I think I have like personal hang-ups on it. That's I think
Definitely. That's clearly what's happening.
yeah. But I
I think
mean,
you're
to-
uneducated on drugs.
but to you for you guys to objectively state what's going to happen to that's a little too much. You guys can't know for sure how it's going to pan out. Like
This isn't the first place for this to happen. You know, there's other
no,
places.
I understand that. Like that's totally fine, but you can't objectively say this is definitely what's going to happen.
We know what happened with alcohol. We know what happened with weed in all of the other places that have legalized it.
Mm.
I don't see any reason for it to go any differently.
With the legalization, is it going to be a legalization that's just like it becomes legal for anybody, or are you still going to have like a medical reason
No,
to
it's
obtain it?
like booze. Go to the
It'll-
store, buy some.
I see. It's interesting. And Colorado is like that right now.
Yeah.
Is that correct? That's crazy, man. And then you
Go
said,
on.
I think in a previous podcast too, how in between states, it can be legal in Colorado, but the federal government is a completely different thing.
Yeah, it's
And
such a fucking mess.
so, like, even though it's illegal in Colorado, you go to the store and buy it legally, you could still be arrested.
Theoretically.
Because, yeah, but does that happen often?
No.
No.
Like
Well, Mike's really.
this is kind of like the wave of this is the direction things are going. They released 30,000 prisoners that were in jail on nonviolent drug crimes.
That is another thing that I don't agree with. I don't agree with that.
There's a reason why it was 30,000 and not all. And the reason you disagree with it is the same reason why it's 30,000 and not all.
What's the reason I disagree with that?
The reason you disagree with that is because they broke the law, and that's why they're there.
You're right.
But the problem is many of the things in the States, they have things like 3 strikes and you go to jail for life.
Texas.
You know, so there's people who got caught smoking a joint who are doing 25 years. That's fucking ridiculous.
So they let
And
some of those
having all
guys
of
out.
their property seized, all their money, everything.
Yeah.
So they release some of those people.
They released 30,000 of them. I mean, realistically, that's not a whole lot of people. There's probably 300,000 fucking people that get released from jail every year in the States. So the only difference is it all happened on the same day, like
I see.
BFD.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely an ethical something. I don't know what you call it, but it's interesting. But like in Canada, let's say, somebody had trafficked some weed, let's say it was 6 plants exactly, and got caught and he was in jail for 2 years. Once this new law passes, do you think that person should be released, or should he serve his 2-year prison term?
Yeah, that's just it. In Canada, you got like 2-year terms. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
by the time the shit's legal, they're going to be out of jail. So it doesn't matter. Because the first thing they're going to do is decriminalize the stuff. Like, it's coming in stages, and I'm sure there's going to be some releasing happening. But because of how lax we were on that kind of stuff anyways, there's not a lot of people in jail for that shit.
Here's
that
an
shouldn't
interesting.
be there.
Here's an interesting
There are
interesting
some.
thought.
There are definitely some, but there's not tons, and there's not ridiculous fucking insanity like could have happened if we had more Harper because they wanted to do mandatory minimums just like the states. That's
Hmm.
fucking insane.
Yeah, I have an interesting thought. How is this going to affect like healthcare in Canada? Because I mean, combustion of anything, like smoking anything is going to cause tar and cancer and etc. Carcinogens. Like you could smoke pine leaves and it would still cause cancer, or it maybe not cancer, but
No, definitely. I mean, all of the same chemicals that you always see listed as ingredients in cigarettes are really just byproducts of burning something.
exactly.
Now, there are
So
some of them that are actually legitimate additives to the cigarettes, but most of the really scary ones, like formaldehyde and this fucking chemical or that
benzene,
chemical, are just a simple matter of this is what happens when you burn something.
right? So obviously, people are going to be smoking marijuana. That's how that
That's why every person
I
I
assume
encourage them to buy a vaporizer.
that would make sense. Yeah.
Well, you see,
But
like those e-cigarettes and those vaporizers, they cause popcorn lung.
popcorn lung. Tell me about that, because I was gonna say I like a lot of my friends have been going to the e-cigarette stuff, and I'm wondering.
It's
It it, it,
bronchiolitis obliterans.
it seems like it seems like it would be a way to catch pneumonia really quickly, if that makes any sense at all. Like,
No.
but
The e-cigarettes are totally the issue is I think last year or the year before there was a study that got released where they studied how bad the e-cigarettes were for you, and they found that if you cranked them all the way to the max temperature, they were super carcinogen. Like
Yeah,
they produced fuck tons of bad shit.
yeah.
But the thing was that in the study, not a single person would use them at that temperature. Not one. Not one person. Because they all said it tastes like fucking garbage and we can't do it. It's basically impossible to use it at that temperature.
It's funny because everyone I run into, they're at the max.
But like it's
it's still nicotine in itself is like alcohol. It's poisonous, obviously. So like vaporizing it, even that alone, and then inhaling it, like the water molecules will attach themselves to your lungs and to your bloodstream.
you
And
do
then,
realize that there's water in the air, right?
no, I understand
A
that.
lot
Yeah,
of the time we're walking around in like 99% humidity.
I have terrible allergies, and I literally, I know it's unrelated, but like literally, if somebody like shakes a blanket, I could walk in the room like the next day and like I'll cough and sneeze for like 10 days straight. But my point is, with the e-cigarettes or whatever, like the vapors and stuff that are attaching like whatever molecule. It's not just water. It's like nicotine, all these other things as well. That's obviously going to cause some harm. So like with marijuana, do you think that marijuana is a toxic substance or a non-toxic substance? Do you think that even through vaporization, it could eventually lead to some sort of lung problem?
Everything is
It's a
toxic
sick-
based on dose.
Everything kills you. Even breathing oxygen kills you.
Like it's all about risk management. Like if there's a way to do it safer, why would you do it the non-safer way? I don't understand.
Well, I just really like smoking cigarettes for some reason.
Hey, you know what? Like I said a long time ago, I changed my stance on the cigarettes thing. As long as you're not fucking up somebody else, you kill yourself all you want. I don't give a fuck.
Mm.
Don't smoke in my house because I don't want you to fucking smoke in my house. But you can go outside and smoke while we're at my house. I don't care. Because
Do you let
you
people vaporize do you vaporize?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't
Usually,
plug them in.
I'll let Joe vape in the house because it doesn't really stink up. It doesn't it doesn't affect the people next to you.
Right.
And like I don't really think that secondhand smoke. I actually don't believe that it causes cancer. I think it's more just irritating or like bothersome to people. But if
Really?
somebody asks me, what's that?
Like like that's just not a thing people say, right?
What?
That secondhand smoke causes cancer, like
People say that definitely.
right? But that's not just a thing people say. Like there
No.
are
That's
No.
not just something you hear on Fox News.
No, it
it's a
definitely
real
is.
thing that
No,
they've
it is.
studied.
Why don't you Snopes that? Seriously.
Snopes,
Not
you
joking.
you should Snopes third-hand smoke is what you should Snopes.
Yeah, that's the one you should
There-
snope.
Third. What the hell is third hand smoke?
That's like
Smoke from like getting in the walls and stuff. So like
yeah.
if you move out of an apartment and you smoke, next
Yeah,
people that move in.
theoretically you could detect it, but the amount of harm it's going to have on you is
I've read a lot of studies
non-existent.
about the secondhand smoke thing because I was
Oh,
actually
have you?
Yeah,
yeah
please
yeah
enlighten
like
us.
university studies from like
Universities.
from
That
early
show that
2000s and stuff.
secondhand smoke is not a thing.
No, that it is a thing, but has never been directly correlated to somebody having cancer, lung cancer specifically.
Cigarettes don't only cause lung cancer.
Find me a link. Go ahead.
I'm
I'll
not fucking googling something right now.
no,
Like,
Yeah,
I
because
swear
we're
to
gonna
God.
send you the link and you're not gonna fucking read it. And you're like, well, it doesn't even fucking matter because
the
fuck
fact of the
you.
matter is that
I like
cloud of
smoking.
smoke that you're breathing out is full of carcinogens. And if you're going to do it in front of people who don't want to smoke, then
Okay, so
you're
what I
causing
was
them harm that you don't have the right to do.
so what I was gonna say is even in my own home, if somebody comes in and they say I don't really like the smell of the smoke or I don't feel comfortable, I go outside. I'll smoke outside while somebody's at my house.
Yep.
Now this was a big issue that I had a big problem with was the bars. Now it's a place of debauchery, alcohol consumption, and cigarettes. So you go to you go to a bar to get drunk. That's usually what people do. They go there for a certain reason, and they started putting bans on smoking in bars, right? And it's mandatory. It's mandated. Now
Yeah, because there's a ton of fucking people in there.
the only issue that I have is with this is that you should be able, as an establishment owner, to decide whether you're going to have a smoking bar or a non-smoking bar. So if you're walking into a bar and it's a smoking bar and you know that it's posted, the sign saying this is a smoking bar, I don't understand why that's a problem, but that's still illegal.
Because
That
it was determined that it was too much of a public health risk.
see, but okay, but now everyone's going to be fucking smoking pot. Pot has
Yeah,
at least as
out
many
the fuck outside.
carcinogens.
The fuck outside they will be.
It has at least as many carcinogens but it's still a health thing.
Does it?
So like, yes,
Does
it
it?
What
has
do you mean
at
it's still a
least.
health thing? What are you talking
People are
about?
going to be smoking marijuana.
And what? You don't think they're going to have to follow the same rules?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're legalizing something that's going to be detrimental to the healthcare system. That's going to cost more tax dollars for Canada.
The people are already smoking pot. They're
That's
just
not
doing it
necessarily
illegally.
true. Like I said, when
You
I
even
started,
know a person who smokes
when I
pot?
started,
I
when I
maybe
started,
disagree.
listen, when I started drinking, I swear to God, my parents had a liquor cabinet. They didn't lock it up. I went in there and I started drinking.
Okay, so
So if it's readily available and it's socially acceptable, a lot more people are going to try it rather than before.
are
Like
you trying to tell me
when
that weed isn't socially acceptable right now?
when you went to
Are
school,
you fucking kidding me?
when you went to school and you were a kid, did they not tell you to not use drugs and you had to go through that dare class? I bet.
No,
Everybody,
I fucking
I
didn't.
never did. I never did.
We had reasonable
drug awareness,
education
something, blah blah blah.
where
blah,
they
blah.
told us what the drugs did. That's it.
That doesn't even. How could I get a more rigorous drug education program than you went through?
Because you're a Backstreet Boys fucking
damn.
wannabe
But
fucking.
DARE is not a drug education program. It's a scaremongering bullshit factory.
You're still not answering or addressing my points.
Which point?
Monkey see, monkey do. I don't know how to explain it any more clearly than that. Like I'm being very clear when I say that the availability and seeing people do it will probably
Do you think there's a lack of seeing people smoke pot right now?
I'll tell you what. If the drug issue was heroin, and that became legalized, and it was socially acceptable
Yeah,
to shoot up
yeah.
a needle at a party, then
Yeah.
a lot more people would do it.
You think a lot more people will be like,
I-
oh, well, yeah, give me the fucking needle. Let's
It's-
stick that right in my
Yeah,
veins.
so
No
yeah,
one's
like,
gonna take that leap. No one's gonna be like,
no,
oh,
you
got some
won't.
heroin there? Yeah.
No, you
tap
won't.
Yeah,
that
but
in
even if
right
they
now.
do, at least then it'll be safe drugs.
Oh my God, this is
true,
fucking
too.
ridiculous. I hate you both so much right now.
That's what you get when you mix a libertarian with a liberal. You get me.
I just feel a little uncomfortable. Like I don't know. I don't
You
know.
can feel as uncomfortable as you want, but I mean,
There's nothing I can do about it. I just explained that. I just spent like fucking 45 minutes explaining why I feel a little bit uncomfortable with the legalization of marijuana so rapidly.
And it's because of like the healthcare issue, as you
Well,
pointed out.
that's one thing. Another thing, like if I ever had children, I wouldn't want them to. I don't know. It's just making drugs.
You wouldn't want your kid smoking weed.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't want it. If he wants to smoke weed, then he can. But I wouldn't want him to do it because he was seeing everybody else do it. It was like very socially
That's why
acceptable.
Then you should be a responsible fucking parent.
Well, that's why I don't have kids.
There you go.
Right.
there you go. Problem solved.
But that really isn't solve. It really doesn't solve any problem. You know, like nothing has been resolved because.
But you're okay with alcohol being in the general public, like?
Well, I was
have a problem
actually going to say that earlier. I was actually going to say something about that earlier, and I think
You think they should legalize alcohol?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this right
I
now.
said that too, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'll tell you right now, weed is far safer than alcohol is.
Well,
And ever since I was a kid, my dad said to my entire family, "I would rather you guys smoke pot than drink booze." We all drink booze, and none of us smoke pot.
I don't know what that means, and I don't know how to take that. I mean, you're almost proving my point in saying that.
How?
No,
Because I don't know, kids are rebellious. Like
there was an environment that was open to smoking weed, and it was totally acceptable in my family. Yet none of us do it.
Right, because like that's what kids are. They're rebellious. Like, do you remember being a kid?
So then once it's okay, they're just going to rebel against it. They'll do something else.
No, it doesn't work
Maybe
that
they'll
way.
snort Smarties. I don't know.
Remember when you first got your ID and you were your first legal drink? How happy and excited you were to be with your friends?
No, because it was the same as every other Saturday.
yeah, pretty much.
Only Ron didn't kick me out of the bar.
All right. Well, we spent 50 minutes now ripping on Anthony and his opinions. So maybe we could change the topic to something later.
Even you know the opinion is wrong.
I don't. Like, I don't think my opinion is wrong. I think it's an opinion. I think that you're wrong for saying that my opinion is definitely wrong.
But
There's
you
no
said
way.
it was wrong.
But even if I did, which I don't think I did, but even if I did, you know, I don't think that. I don't know. It's like you're God or something. Like, but you're not. You're not.
You look at my Facebook. It says atheist Jesus. That's what it says.
All right. Well, maybe you are God, but that's not the point. Okay. I wish I was God.
It's not that fun.
I'd cast your ass to hell.
You don't get to have emotions.
with
It's
all
kinda
the
terrible,
other-
actually. You feel like a robot walking around a pool of emotional whack jobs.
I don't know. Just you understand my point, even though you think it's dumb or ignorant, but you understand it, right?
Yes, I do.
And you know what? A lot of it probably has to do with conditioning or just the way I grew up or just some stupid, selfish reason. Maybe you're right. You know, I should maybe spend some more
Basically,
time.
the bottom line is we need to stop making criminals out of people who aren't criminals.
I don't think that smoking pot should make you a criminal. I'll agree with that.
There you go.
I agree with that.
Then you agree with the legalization.
Okay. I just am slightly, but not even especially, but slightly concerned that there might be consequences to the legalization that maybe we hadn't foreseen or thought about.
That's entirely possible, but I mean, every other case of this sort of thing happening proves the exact opposite.
For example, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
Gotcha.
I
All
can't
right.
wait till they come out with like lip balms and ointments that you can rub in and like
So this is-
lollipops and candies.
This is what happened in Colorado. They were like, all right, we're going to legalize it. and we expect to make this much tax money off of it. So in their budget, they wrote in a certain amount of space for that money to go. In Colorado, they have another law that says any tax that's collected beyond what you project has to be given back.
Which is
They
pretty
had
good.
to give back.
So that's like
it was
a
ridiculous.
surplus.
Yeah, the amount of money they had to give back was absolutely insane. It just exploded their expectations. Now, obviously, the next year's budget was adjusted for that, so they're not going to be giving money back the next time. But
Man, they really should have bought a lot more marijuana with that money.
But yeah,
they'd be in the green, man.
it exceeded their wildest dreams, basically. But and this is the other thing, the point I was trying to make. Like you were saying about it being socially socially acceptable. I don't know that I can name 10 people that don't smoke weed, and I know a lot of fucking people.
I know a lot of people that do not smoke weed for well, a lot of them don't smoke for the same reason that I don't, just the anxiety factor behind, the change in your. And this is something that I've always been interested in, and why it affects people differently, like psychologically. Like for me, it's always been like an anxiety causing thing, which may contribute to why I have such a, intolerant opinion of the legalization. But a lot of my friends that I know,
some people get drunk and go to the bar and beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, I understand that, but like what I'm saying is, for some people, like it seems to just really relax them, and it seems to be helpful. And for me,
self-medication is not all that great.
Yeah, but for me, it's just total opposite, like just pure anxiety, like almost panic states while I'm stoned,
Weed is a weird animal because it's an upper and a downer at the same time, so it does weird shit.
Yeah.
No, depending on which.
Well, I don't think it's an upper and a downer at the same time. I think it
absolutely is.
I think it can be an upper or a downer, but I don't think it's
Well,
both.
if you get like an indica versus a sativa, they both react differently, and they react differently to different people, depending on how your brain chemistry is. Just like any other drug.
Yeah.
People will react to any drug differently.
Is indica and sativa the male or female? Is that it?
No, it's just two different
They're
strains.
like the primary strains or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So yeah, for me it caused anxiety. For a lot of my friends, it just chills them out and they laugh and they have a really good time, right? So like that's another thing to consider. Again, with the healthcare stuff, how is it going to affect people mentally? Like,
I'll tell you what it's gonna do. If it, if it is a problem that somebody has, they're not gonna be scared to go try and fix it.
What do you mean by that?
If you're doing something illegal and you want to get it fixed, do you think you want to admit to people that you're doing something illegal?
Such as smoking pot.
Anything. That's why they have places with needle
of
exchanges and shit like that. Like,
yeah.
So that, because like the stigma is so, like, that stops people from getting help.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point. But that's directly, like, that's direct controversy to my social, like how it would be socially acceptable. Like the stigma will be lost, and I guess that's what I meant. Like when I was talking about, the social acceptance, it won't be stigmatized anymore.
Right, but right now it's illegal. The general public doesn't give a fuck about it. You can tell any number of people that you know that you smoke weed, and barring a few really weird conservative people, they're just going to be like, yeah, so you smoke weed, whatever, and they're going to continue their fucking day. But you're still not going to walk into the police station and be like, hey, by the way.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting point. Why didn't you say it at the start? Instead of 50 minutes of Anthony bashing. No,
well, that's fun.
Now, exactly. I
fun.
love this show, and I love the fact that you guys bash me. If this didn't happen, we wouldn't have a Submerged TV podcast. This has to be part of it. I'm like the opposite of Howard Stern, He just bashes on everybody else. But
Did you end up calling Howard Stern or what?
no, I didn't, but I really wanted to, especially today, just because of Scott Weiland. I always say Whelan. I don't know why I say Whelan. I'm not going to stop calling him Scott Whelan.
Wait,
I
it's
know
not
it.
Whelan?
No, it's Scott Weiland. That's how his name is pronounced. But I'm always going to say Scott Whelan. Anyway,
I've never heard anybody pronounce it like that.
like 4 days ago, Howard was like, "Yeah, I don't fucking care about Scott." Blah 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 blah. Today it was like a Scott fucking ceremony. And he's like, "What an amazing artist!" And but like 4 days ago, I think he was just having a bad day. Like his nurse didn't wipe his ass properly or something, and he, some of the shit probably ended up in his mouth and started spewing out into the microphone, something like that. So
Sounds legit.
yeah, he literally just was so apathetic, and all of a sudden he realized, wow, I can get more ratings if I'm not apathetic.
Let's
So
talk about this for a second.
yeah.
How come
pretty silly.
as soon as somebody dies, everybody fucking pretends they were awesome?
I don't know.
I'm fucking sick of it. Fucking sick of it. Everybody fucking hates somebody. They die. Oh my god, Vigil! It's amazing. This person was great.
See,
No, they're still a dipshit.
This was Howard 4 days ago. What you're saying, but now
Like-
today
Like
was
fucking
Vigil.
2 goddamn weeks ago, everybody's like, "Oh, Scott Whelan's such a piece of shit now. He can't even fucking sing anymore. What a fucking piece of garbage." Now they're all like, "Oh my god, he was amazing." Truth of the matter is, he had a fucking debilitating fucking drug addiction, and it fucking was so bad that it alienated him from people who just couldn't fucking take him doing it anymore, and that just made it worse for him. But I mean, you can't blame them because at some point you just have to stop seeing your friend kill themselves. But like, they still need help. It's terrible. It's fucking sad as fuck.
Yeah.
This coming from Andrew, who believes that drugs should be legalized.
Yes.
I'm just joking. No, yeah, I don't understand that either. Like when the whole Kurt Cobain thing, like he wrote his last album, and I think the last one that he did was Incesticide, if I remember correctly, when he was still with Nirvana, and that was his baby. That was his like. He wanted that album to be heard, and every time he went to a show, it was always "Smells Like Teen Spirit, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Let's hear Smells Like Teen Spirit," to the point where it drove him nuts, and then he ended up killing himself and all that stuff. But in 1992 or 91, I think Nevermind was released. It still wasn't a super glorified thing. It hadn't sold 30 million, 40 million copies. But like after he died, it was like just explosive. And
That shit was the bomb explosives.
well, what happens is people they don't care. They're being themselves and they don't care. So like that first part, 2 weeks before someone dies, like you said, someone's not caring and they're fucking
Did you catch that, Mike?
Yeah.
what?
Now I think I made a fucking fucking the Kron reference. It's whatever. 2001.
So anyway, before he died, it was a good selling album, obviously. But once he died,
Bob Rock's fault.
he exploded, and it's not because the music was great. It's not because the music was
It was
awesome.
kind of great. Never
It
mind.
was
Pretty fucking awesome album.
it was an okay album. I wouldn't say it's in the top 10 albums released in
Have
the
you
90s.
listened to it recently?
I have listened to the whole thing through and through probably about 200 times.
My favorite album by Nirvana will always be the Unplugged.
Yeah, the Unplugged was
And,
fucking tastic.
I got 2 copies of that.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, my point is, when somebody dies, this gives the media, like Fox News, blah, 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 or whoever, a chance to literally exploit someone's death. So you ask the question, why is it that, there's vigils afterwards? Because the networks that are airing these things are gaining so much, based on someone's death, which is kind of a sick fucking way to, pay tribute to somebody who just died, to take advantage of their death.
To be quite frank, I don't give a fuck about the person that died because they're dead and they don't care anymore. I care about the people that are left behind. And fucking a dick move to treat somebody who somebody loved like that after they die. Anyways.
Mm.
How do you think Dave Grohl felt? Like I always think about that, and I'm like,
How do you think? How do you think
you know,
Michael Jackson's kids felt?
I I don't even want to answer that question.
How do you think Kurt Cobain's kid felt?
She probably grew up in a really shitty way. If I had to guess, and I know nothing of her,
I don't know. She seems pretty together.
but
She seems not
my guess would be that her entire life she would just always hear your father was this, your father was that, and it probably gave her some sort of undeserved sense of, I don't know, accomplishment, I guess.
She
That's how I
accomplished
feel.
something by being Kurt's daughter.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt
Because
was pretty. Probably helped her along her way to being a model.
Yeah.
Because Courtney Love wasn't all that pretty.
She wasn't that great. She wasn't that great.
she was in
She wasn't bad. She
was
didn't
in the
look bad in People versus Larry Flint. She didn't look too bad in that.
I couldn't believe it when I was at Dan O'Ryan's house and I don't know, like, I was going to Dallas at the time. I was probably like 20 years old or something. And I was still living in the city, and I went over one day, and he said, "Come watch this movie, Man on the Moon, with me." And I'm an R.E.M. fan, and I knew who Andy Kaufman was, and I had never seen the movie Man on the Moon. It has Jim Carrey and Courtney Love is in the movie, and it just kind of blew me away. I was like, "Are you serious? What the fuck? Why is Courtney Love in a movie? She doesn't have talent." It's a terrible movie, but it's a good movie because Courtney Love was in it.
I gotta be honest. I have not seen Man on the Moon, but I've not seen it. I've not heard anyone else say it was a terrible movie.
It's not a very good movie at all. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the
That's
Majestic?
because it's for Andy Kaufman fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the Majestic? That was probably Jim Carrey's worst movie ever.
I don't know. I've never seen that.
one.
I'll tell you, fucking number 23 was fucking awesome.
Number 23.
Yeah, I seen that at a drive-in.
That was fucking good.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I do outdoor movies here every summer.
I have never seen a film outside.
With a projector, you do?
Yeah, I got a projector and I got a screen that takes up like the whole side of my house.
Really?
Yeah, I got some canvas at the
Talking
Salvation
head
Army.
style.
It's pretty fucking awesome. We watched The Shining one time. It was fucking great.
Yeah,
Holy
that
shit!
was
Watching
really
horror
awesome.
movies in the middle of the lawn,
My
sitting at a
favorite
campfire is fucking awesome.
my
Yeah.
favorite scene. I have like out of any movie that I can think of, I have two favorite scenes. The first one is that scene in Pulp Fiction. I don't even really like Pulp Fiction, but that scene at the
Sacrilege.
start when Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta go into that house, and he's like, "Do you speak English and what?"
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I love that scene. And
Say what again, motherfucker?
Yeah. And the other scene would be from the movie. What was the movie that you just named?
The Shining?
The Shining.
Majestic.
Yeah. When he's typing in that typewriter, and he looks at her and he goes, "Now why don't you just get the fuck out?" I love those two scenes, two epic scenes, man.
There's a lot of good scenes in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's
That's
such a
classic.
good-
That is probably. It has to be one of the best movies of all time.
I fucking hate old movies, but I could probably watch that movie 3 times in one day.
I swear to God, I could too, dude. It is literally one of the best fucking pieces of cinema.
Yeah, that's
Ever.
good. That's a good.
Have you watched Harry in Your Pocket?
I have not.
It's like it's like about a gang of pickpocketers. They just go on the street and they keep just passing it around. It's kind of like it's a pretty good movie, but as you can tell, it's kind of shitty. But at the same time, it was kind of interesting. It was made in the '70s.
One of
All
my
right,
one of my
we gotta
favorite movies ever.
we're gonna do a wrap up. Now we're just rambling on. This has been Submerged TV. Andrew, on 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Drink Moosehead Premium Dry.
Yeah, plug and get a lawsuit. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay. This has been Submerged TV. If you guys want to know more about which movies that we like, you can go fuck yourself because we're not going to tell you. Submerged TV. Thanks.